Today is shearing day, which of course is the most important day for the Canadian wool industry, this is the wool harvest. This is where we collect the fleeces from the sheep, and that gets transformed into all kinds of Canadian wool products. This is where we get the wool from. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about where wool actually comes from. I mean, the number of people I have to explain to that it's like that actually think that the animal has to die to be able to collect the fiber is uncomfortably high. So this is a chance to be able to demystify some of the myths around shearing, to be able to show where the wool comes from, and also the beautiful environment that these animals live in and where the fleece grows. So it's a chance to be able to show our partners this important first step in the industry. Strong wool prices continue to be stubbornly low. That is a huge concern. Coupling that with the trade issues we're facing with the United States, again, wool, like many other sectors, is very much tied to, we are integrated industries, so there's a lot of cross-border trade of raw fiber, processing of elements back and forth. So the upset and the instability in trade relationships with the U.S. is just adding another issue for fiber farmers to have to worry about. Again, this is an opportunity for us to show the people who support our work, our partners, our funders, media, to show it. This is how it all happens. Show the incredible skilled shearers who are tasked with removing the fleeces, and again, trying to demystify where it all comes from, and then using this opportunity to tell the story of Canadian wool, which I think is an amazing story. I think we grow some pretty incredible fiber, and this is a chance to be able to share that story with a much wider audience.
These ewes are about to lamb, and they're a few weeks away from lambing, and so you want to shear the wool from the ewe so she feels nice and clean, and it's easier to help in the lambing process. I think one of the biggest challenges that we're facing today is access to processing for sheep farmers to bring their product to market. And some other challenges are access to veterinarians. That's a big problem for sheep farmers and other large livestock farmers in Ontario. We just don't have enough veterinarians in Ontario that treat livestock. Interestingly, the sheep industry and the lamb market are completely domestic for Ontario sheep farmers. Very little of our product goes down to the United States, and so for our members, the tariffs aren't as big as an issue as it is for some of the other commodities in Ontario that rely on the U.S. market. Like hogs, for example, would be an industry that's way more affected by the tariffs than we are.
So these are Shetland sheep. This is actually the original Shetland flock in North America. Shetlands are a very boisterous group, but they're also a really ancient breed. They come from the Shetland Islands off the coast of Scotland, and these sheep were dropped off by Vikings over 1,000 years ago, so they're relatively unchanged. And were raised for their fine, the beautiful handle of their wool and the wonderful range of natural colors, which means that it doesn't have to be dyed to achieve a range of colorful patterns and yarns. So what makes Canadian wool so special is you've got, our climate creates a highly elastic and resilient wool, so it's got great bounce to it. It's a great blending wool, which is one of the reasons why when it's sold abroad, a lot of places will use Canadian wool to sort of add loft to a yarn blend. But we've got an incredible diversity of breeds here, and we produce a lovely medium coarse fleece that it can be very soft on the skin, but is also useful for all kinds of purposes. So you can get these lovely blankets and scarves, but you can also use this to make carpets and upholstery. It's a really good multi-purpose fiber. A lot of our work with the Canadian Wool Council is about high value added products. So we've done a lot of work looking at particular particularly for the bulk of Canadian wool, because you have some wool, like this is on the softer end. What we've seen here today is on the softer end of what Canada produces. But for the bulk of what we produce, that is actually very well suited to rugs and upholstery. This company in Toronto, they supply rugs to the federal government. So there's rugs in embassies like in Copenhagen and in Cote d'Ivoire that are 100% Canadian wool and are actually made not far from here in Waterloo. So the beautiful product of Canada. So that's on the premium end, but we've also got, you know, a partner in Montreal that make lovely scarves and toques out of Canadian wool. We've done some amazing tweed jackets with partners here. So it is such a versatile fiber, but always check, like if you're looking for Canadian wool, always check the label, because even sort of stuff made in Canada doesn't mean they're using Canadian wool.